Hello, this is Michael Breithoft, and this is Understanding My Community of Clearwater, Kansas. Clearwater is a veteran community of Wichita. There are very few businesses here, and the ones that are here are struggling. Most people work in Wichita as a part of the aviation industry. Religion is very important in Clearwater. We have 6 small churches, even though we only have 2,500 people in town. And another indication of this is the local school district does not have any Wednesday night activities because that is church night, and all the churches in town sponsor activities that night. As far as other customs, Clearwater is the windmill capital of Kansas, at least we're trying to be. There's a very large windmill in the city park, and all the street signs are windmills. So like if you want to know what street you're on, that's a windmill. Another thing to note is we closed an elementary school 3 years ago because of budgetary reasons. As far as population characteristics, for education, 88.5% of people have received a high school diploma, 19.7% have a bachelor's degree, and 4.5% have a graduate degree. Not bad. As far as language, English is the primary language spoken at home for basically all homes. We have very few ELL students. The average age is 35, which is right around the average for Kansas. 47.7% male, 52.3% female. As far as in town goes, for occupations, the biggest is the school district. As far as employer, like I said, most are involved with the Wichita aviation industry. There's also a lot of farming. We also do not have very much racial diversity. 95.3% white, only 2.5% Hispanic, and 2.2% other. As far as communication, the Times Sentinel is our local newspaper. We share that newspaper with 4 other small communities in the area, but Wichita is all only 15 miles away, so we do have the Wichita Eagle serving Clearwater. As far as local TV or internet, that would be SKT, Southern Kansas Telephone. The school does have a channel on that, which we try and keep updated. Don't always do a great job with that. And there's also a community channel as well where you can post information on there. Clearwater has one stoplight, which is green 99% of the time because it's only to let the elementary students be able to cross the street to the city park. We do, however, have a 4-way stop, and that is where there's a big electronic sign that rotates information through. You can put stuff on that. We have very little foreign language impact, like I said. A couple years ago, we had 0 ELL students or ones who said they spoke another language at home. Now we have 5 or less, very, very few. Like I said, since we're so close to Wichita, a lot of the Wichita TV and radio stations will also cover Clearwater if there is newsworthy events. As far as community groups, we are a very small town. We have things like the Lions Club, American Legion, things like that. The school board is going to determine the policy as far as the school with the administrator's input, some input from the community. As far as curriculum and textbook decisions, I feel very lucky in Clearwater because those are basically made by the teachers. When we needed new science textbooks 2 years ago, the teachers got to make the final decisions on that. We got to look at whatever we wanted and pick what we wanted, and that's what they got for us. Very similar with the curriculum. We obviously have to be following the state standards, and that's what we're judged on primarily, but we have no curriculum that is handed down to us from the district other than the state standards. As far as cooperation goes, we have the Clearwater PTA, Parent Teachers Association. They're very helpful as far as getting things that is needed in the classrooms. This is taken advantage of more by the elementary grades, I feel, but it's available to the high school as well. As far as problem organizations, I don't really see any of those. It's more individuals that have problems than any official organization. As far as the leadership in town, the two major influencing agents are the school board. Our district is USD 264, and the Clearwater City Council. The school board, of course, affecting school decisions, and the city council affecting community decisions. However, it's a very small community, so whatever decisions are made there greatly impact all members of our small community. We also have the Clearwater Ministerial Alliance that has leadership as far as religious or social issues, things like we have a food bank, or like a Christmas with families need help to for their kids at Christmas. That's Ministerial Alliance does things like that. As far as the community leaders' characteristics, school board and city council members are available during meetings. They obviously have open meetings. Emails, you can contact them. There's times for the public to speak at those. The community members can express their concerns. However, that doesn't often produce results from what I've seen. And the Ministerial Alliance is also very available to people who are in need. As far as the economic conditions, all of our business and government and reports is on the official website, which is clearwaterks.org. As far as the economics, agriculture is an important part of the community, but like I said earlier, it's a better community of Wichita. There's not a lot of commerce. There's not a lot of businesses. We have one block downtown, and the businesses really struggle here because people can just go get whatever they need in Wichita when they're already there, before they go home from their job. The biggest employer is definitely manufacturing, especially with the aviation industry. Since it is primarily with the aviation industry, that does create some instability, because in that industry, jobs are gained and lost in big numbers all the time. That does, however, create high wages. People get paid a lot of money a lot of times in the aviation industry with not very much education. And since we are so closely tied to Wichita, our unemployment rate is very close to what Wichita's is. Property values are affordable, close to the Kansas average. Cost of living and taxes here are low. For example, our property taxes are about the median compared to other districts around us. The district office is 141 South Prospect. The address for the website and information for the school district is usd264.org. As far as the political structure, small town politics is definitely the major source of political structure, and most of that just breaks down into petty issues, petty disagreements between members of the community. Can we separate politics from education? I don't really think so. More money is spent at the state and local levels on education than any other function of government. You see this especially with the property taxes at the local level, which is a major funder of the local schools. And also one thing that also affects the taxes is we had a new high school built in a bond issue that was completed 7 years ago. But obviously we're still paying off the bond. As far as social tensions are concerned, we have no diversity, very, very little diversity. So that doesn't create much tension. We have 2,500 people. We do not have issues with gangs or really any issue with crime. The only crime we have it has to do with theft. Like if you go back the last 5 or 10 years, like 0 murders, no reported rapes, things like that. The crime has to do with primarily theft. Most social tensions are basically misunderstandings, individual problems, or situations. Somebody's mad that their neighbor did something. Not a tremendous amount of socioeconomic or religious diversity. And whatever discrimination there is mostly just from ignorance. I tend to see this a lot in the high school. Whatever problems that students have with other races, things like that, and racial tension, it's basically just from ignorance. They don't know any better. They haven't been exposed to very many other races or any other situations. And that goes for the community as a whole, not just the high school students. Standards involved with this project, obviously ISLLC Standard 4, articulating the community interests and needs. That's what we're trying to do with this, trying to discover the interests and needs and how I can mobilize the community resources. This also involves ISLLC Standard 6, understanding, responding to, and influencing the political, social, and economic, legal, and cultural context. That's also what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to understand the context of the community in order to be able to influence it and be able to have better relations with members of the community. Thank you for listening to my presentation.